Today, I am in Yachats again on the Oregon coast, and just thought I'd vary the location here. And I was just sitting here on this bluff sort of area where I am, and I know I've talked about the ocean and. Or maybe I haven't yet, depending on how far ahead you've read. I think the ocean's a wonderful spot to sit. It's very, very cleansing, grounding place. I've kind of got the best of both worlds here with some trees on the end of this bluff because I prefer being around trees. The ocean's got its own interesting characteristics. It's on the surface very chaotic, but it's just this kind of ever-flowing, vast, expansive body of water at the same time. There's also a lot going on, birds and sometimes people, things like that. But it can be a really nice place to draw you in if you're needing that, renewing, refreshing, cleansing, either in your body or any other part of you. So, anyways, we're here at the Oregon coast, and it's beautiful. I was having a little sit, and I was thinking about, well, I wasn't thinking at the time, but now I'm starting to think that I didn't go over much Principle 3, which I think is important. I kind of got caught up in the moment and started bouncing around. So just to go backwards a little bit, I want to talk a little bit about Principle 3 and 4, which we're on today. But the main part of it is that there is, no special, awakened or enlightened being that's above anyone else in any sense. And I know maybe that shatters some people's paradigm, and I know some people may say, well, then, you don't really know what awakening is really about. You're not all there. All I can speak from is just my experience. I spent a lot of time around spiritual teachers, communities, people, studied a lot of different traditions, new and old, been all around the world. And this is just from my experience and based on my paradigm that got shattered as well, because I used to think that way. What I realized when very soon after I experienced my awakening was that this pure consciousness, that we're going to call it that because we have to, give our minds something, right? It's when you take everything else away, and this is what we're going to be talking about and doing in a moment with Principle 4. When you take everything else away, even all philosophies, all religions, all teachings, everything, when you strip everything down to where you would think there's just nothing, and in a sense there is, like I've said before, that sort of touch of emptiness, but also full of everything at the same time. when you get to that point, know you experience know you, right? You experience that this is not unique to me, who I am as a person experiencing this. That you really get a feel for the direct experience that what this life is, what is being experienced through you, not the egoic, in the physical world, even, phenomenal world, emotions, people. Not to say that's not important, but what is the underlying, the substratum, as I've said before, that is operating, animating, expressing itself, is the same thing in each of us. So if we get caught up in the old, paradigm that there is someone above me, that knows more, that I should, bow to them, or I should, I have so much to learn from them. All those things, goals, someone being above another, such egoic principles that really have been ingrained in us from, beginning of humanity, probably, right? But when we're able to really experience reality, the truth, which is so simple, which is so wonderful, which is us, and not, it is us, it is every one of us. This interconnectedness, but that is so much deeper than just being interconnected. The one thing that everything is so much easier to experience when there is no us in the way. Yeah, and so in a way, some of our conditioning, I guess you could say, of, there being this golden enlightened state, and that an awakened being acts a certain way, does certain things, etc., etc. I would just say, you can't, compare every experience. There's so many. Some people do belong to different orders or religions and have experienced awakening and act a certain way. Then others just are normal, human beings without that role, and that's just what it is it's a role. So many times in the spiritual, realm of things, in different traditions and things like that, these spiritual practices that are part of their quote-unquote goal to awakening will, in a sense, refine, purify, whatever you want to say, a human being's personality, the way they think, all those things. But at the same time, you can't really say, that person is more awake and that person is closer, to awakening, be enlightened, whatever. Because, as I said before, and I've talked about this before, we are all that already. All of us are that pure consciousness. Whether we know it or not, it is us at our core. And whether on the outside a human is acting more composed, kinder, so all those attributes that change people have their merit. Spiritual practices do refine people and sometimes lead to people awakening. And I've experienced this before. I used to do, many of those things. Even my job was related to that, altruistic essence of spiritually guiding, helping people. So while at the same time I felt very helpful, useful, needed in a sense, there is still that egoic tendency. Although refined and spiritual, we have that spiritual ego, where it's just a part of our regular ego, but it's like split in a different direction. So what I would say is, although all those things are wonderful, and there are many ways to become a person like that, and that's just what it is. You're becoming a person like that. So if that is your goal, go for it. There's nothing wrong with pursuing those wonderful altruistic, humanity helping, or earth helping, whatever occupations or lifestyles. But in nature-based awakening, what I'm trying to sort of expose is what awakening is not. So awakening is not over time becoming an altruistic person and then just someday, wow, you see the light, And again, that's what it's all about. Pulling everything away. It's so simple. It's a deconstructing. It's a deconstructive process. So yeah, that's the other thing, is not many quote-unquote spiritual, warriors, whatever you want to call people that have intense practices, are interested in becoming something less. They want to become something more. And it makes sense in our normal, human existence, lives. We have goals. We want to learn something. We want to become better. We want to know more. That's how we are. So again, be careful, because it's a function of our ego, just a more spiritual, refined version. It's not about what we can become, but pulling away those layers, the fabric of what we are not, so that all that is left is that pure consciousness, which is us and everything. So this leads us into principle number 4, which is really that beginning of really starting to understand and experience what it's like to pack up everything that we know about ourselves, everything that we think we are, even beyond our personal life, but even as a human, things that aren't even unique to us as an individual. So we pack up all those things, and when you read this principle, I believe I'm on the right principle. You should know this by now. We really pack up everything that we are. We put that in our pack. We put that aside and put it away. And we experience in our sitting, we can sort of feel that metaphorically when we do that, and this is a great way to use this tool, right? Because our mind, different parts of us, can be helpful in allowing the process to unfold, or they can hinder us. So this, I believe, is a good exercise to really help us metaphorically pack up everything for a while, and again, for our ego's sake, it will still be there, all those things, and realistically they will still be there. When we've experienced awakening, our personality might change, but not to the point of where it's unrecognizable, or really it's all up to you as as a person, how much you want your experience of awakening to impact your daily life. In a sense, you could say, you know, it's going to, in some way. You have to be able to, you know, give up your, preferences to exactly, what you will be doing after you have experienced, know you. I mean, everything you perceive is different. But I will say that the most important thing is live your life. Don't become so, quote unquote spiritual that you are so introspective and you're always alone and you're thinking about, spiritual things, the afterlife, or, consciousness or whatever. I've been there. It's a unnatural way to live our human life, being continuously introspective. So if you find yourself in that scenario, just go out and do something, have fun, relax, play a game, play some sports, whatever. Get grounded. And realize that, you can have a nice sit, and whether you experience your awakening or not, when you get up, everything will be mostly the same. Yeah? And I think this will be a shock to some people to hear that and, think that, maybe it's not all it's cracked out to be or whatever. I'll just say that, we've built who we think we are around what's already truth, what's already reality. So exposing that is, again, so natural. Please enjoy your time. Please keep sitting. Please keep coming back to these lessons, and we'll see you again very shortly.